Hi guys, it's Ailey. It's actually nighttime, so I should say konbanwa. How long has quarantine been going on? Because I think it's been going on for 8 months. That's a long time. And when I have 8 months where I can't go out and I can't meet people, I resort to watching TV and YouTube. Today I'm going to be telling you guys some of my favorite shows and movies that have been helping me get through what feels like the beginning of the purge. Make sure you guys comment down below who your favorite actor or actress is, or your favorite TV show or your favorite movie. If you want to comment all four, fantastic, go for it, and I will try to reply to as many comments as I can. And again, today's shout out is Isabel Lim. Thank you for commenting on our previous video. It was decorating our Christmas tree with us. Thank you for watching our videos. Maybe we'll make a video where Emily and I have a gingerbread making contest. Thank you for the idea. And without further ado, let's jump right in. Most of these movies and TV shows that I'm going to introduce to you guys is rated MA or TV 14 and above. So if you are not 14 years old, please ask your parents if you can watch these, and if they say no, just listen to them, because there's a reason why these shows or movies are rated TV 14. So these are just some of these shows and movies that have gotten me through the first 8 months of isolation. It is not a list of all of my favorite TV shows. No, I enjoy a lot more TV shows and movies that I have not included on this list, because if I do include it, the list will be never ending. So these are just some shows and movies that I recommend to you guys if you have Netflix or you have access to other streaming platform where you can find these movies and TV shows. I have two categories. One is shows and movies I've watched before March, so before we all went on lockdown, which means the show came out before the pandemic and it probably ended before the pandemic. The first TV show that I have for you guys that I 100% recommend, number one, is the Vampire Diaries. Now I get it, oh my god, Vampire Diaries, like, it's about vampires. That's so, like, you know, cliche. I don't want anything to do with that. But hear me out. If you want a good storyline and a plot line that's like has a lot of plot twists and you never know what's gonna happen, this is the show for you. They throw things at you and you're just like, how are they gonna get out of that situation? It's not a cheesy typical show about vampires. Like, when you think of vampire shows or movies, you think of Twilight. It's not like that. It's more like they fight these problems, and the fact that they're vampires is like a cool upgrade, but it's not like a huge part of the show that you're like fixated on. You're more fixated on the characters. And oh my god, there are 8 seasons on Netflix, so you can go binge that. And there's this one character who just refuses to die throughout the entire 8 seasons. He just like does not die ever. Like, you know how like some characters, you know, die or come back to life. I'm not gonna say who. This character just won't die. He made it through the, like, no hate to this character, but like, how did you survive for 8 seasons? Okay, he survived hell. Okay, when these characters were battling the devil himself, he was like a victim. If you like plot twists and good storylines, you should definitely check this out. Okay, number 2, we have Grey's Anatomy. Yes, this is a very popular show, and yes, it is 16 seasons long on Netflix, but the 17th season is airing. There is a lot of stuff like controversy surrounding this TV show, because people are like, oh, it's not a real medical it doesn't like show the real medical part of the doctors. And yeah, that's true, because it's a TV show, but the reason why I watch it is because the show itself portrays a lot of weird and bizarre situations that the patients gets themselves into. Like, this guy was stuck in cement. He jumped in like liquid cement and he was brought into the ER, and they had to like get him out of the cement. It was really cool. These two people were connected by like a pole, and they had to separate them. There was a hole in the ground, there was a giant hole in the ground, and people were stuck in the hole and they had to rescue them. Bear attacks, that happens. And yeah, there's that stuff that happens in the on-call room, but like ignore it, y'all know what I'm talking about. And there are these two characters named McDreamy and McSteamy, and I'll just put a picture of them up somewhere on the screen. The third TV show that I recommend, and again, this TV show was introduced to me before the pandemic, so I watched it before, but now I'm just rewatching or waiting for another season, is Lucifer. Now this show was introduced to me by a friend, and just like a quick introduction to it, I'm sure you guys have seen it recommended to you in your like home page of Netflix. It's about the devil. Yeah, the devil, like heaven and hell, but like the devil decides to take a break from ruling hell, and so he moves to Los Angeles and he gets involved with this homicide case, this murder case, and he gets to know the detective, and then the devil and the detective go on cases to solve homicide stuff. So it's like a CSI kind of thing, but then again, the devil himself is very, well, the character, the devil, is very sarcastic, and it's like a CSI show sprinkled with like a little sarcasm. And there are 4.5 seasons on Netflix right now, and what this means is that Netflix is doing this thing where they only release half of one season, which is so annoying. They should just release the whole season, but they didn't. They released half of season 5, which means there is 4.5 seasons available on Netflix for you guys to watch. Okay, now we're moving into movies and shows that came out during the pandemic and only have like one season, or it could be a movie, but these are Netflix movies and shows that I have watched, and I'm telling you guys kind of what they're about, so you don't have to like watch it if you don't want to on accident. Okay, number 1 is The Umbrella Academy. Quick run through, not of the summary, but like of the characters. 7 siblings, born on the same day. I don't know why, but this guy named Reginald Hargreaves, he's a billionaire or something, and he adopts 7 of these kids with magical superpowers, except one of them is normal and doesn't have superpowers, but she got adopted. Anyway, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and the guy who adopted them counts them and names them the numbers that they are. So child number 5, his power is like traveling through space, so like teleportation, and he can also time travel. So when he was like 12 or 16 or 13, I don't remember when, he traveled into the future, like 20 years into the future, and then he finds out that the world ended, and he kind of like had to survive in a world where there was no one, and he had to like find scraps to eat. And then finally he got back to his regular timeline, but unfortunately when he got back to his regular timeline, his siblings already grew up, so they're like adults, and like one of them even has like a daughter, and he has to somehow convince his siblings that the end of the world is coming and they have 1 week to stop it. But the thing is, they are kind of like a dysfunctional family of 6 superhero power kids, and dad died, so this little boy has to convince his 6 other adult siblings that the world is ending and that they have to stop it. It's funny, it's filled with action. Oh, and while trying to stop the end of the world, he has to keep his relationship alive with a mannequin that he had fallen in love with when he was stuck in the future with no one, because everyone was dead. This show has 2 seasons. I believe it is 20 episodes in total on Netflix. It took me about 3 days to watch it. I've watched it 3 times. Once by myself, once with my mom, and once with my dad, and they all binge watched it in 3 days. It was really good. I 100% recommend this. Coming in at number 2 for shows that came out during the pandemic is The Queens Gambit. Hear me out, hear me out. I know it's number 1, and I know it's like, oh my god, everybody watched it, and you might not be into chess. I'm not into chess either. I have no interest in chess. Well, now I kind of do because I watched it, but before I watched this show, I did not care about chess. But it takes place in the 60s, and you follow a girl named Elizabeth Harmon who learns to play chess at her orphanage. And you kind of follow her and her journey to try to become the world champion at chess. But it's like, you're kind of like rooting for her, you know, because like you grow so attached to this character, and I 100% recommend this show. I finished the whole season. There's 7 episodes, but an hour each. I finished it in 1 day. Okay, so the next one on my list is called Dash and Lily. And if you're not that into romancy, kind of cliche TV shows, then maybe this is not the type for you, but I thought it was a really cute show. Basically, it's about this guy named Dash and this girl named Lily. Lily loves Christmas, Dash doesn't, and Lily decides to leave a notebook at a bookstore filled with hidden clues for anyone to pick up and solve. And eventually this guy named Dash finds her notebook, and then they communicate through the notebook and they fall in love through this process. It was like a book of dares, and then it's not like a scary dare. Little kids can watch this show, it's not scary. But yeah, I thought it was a cute story with like realistic problems. It was really cute. Okay, so honorable mentions these are basically movies and TV shows that I liked. The actors acted so well in them and actually made me believe I was like in their world. The first one is Sherlock, Benedict Cumberbatch and Martin Freeman. If you want to watch that, it's really good. Always Be My Maybe is also a cute movie. I think it came out a while ago. It's Ali Wong and Randall Park. Oh, and Keanu Reeves is also in it. If you haven't seen The Matrix, go watch The Matrix. Two movies that I've watched are Marriage Story, which is amazing. I think Adam Driver and Scarlett Johansson did an amazing job acting in it. Like, dang. And none of it was improv. Emily in Paris. Emily in Paris, I loved the show because here's the thing. My best friends, because I'm in like a tight group of 4 or 5, and 4 out of the 5 took French and I didn't. I took drama my 7th grade, and then I took Spanish 1, and now I'm taking Chinese 4 and Japanese. So currently I'm doing Chinese and Japanese, and I never ever took French, but because my closest friends took French, I always feel like a little bit left out, you know, out of the conversations that they have in French on the group chat. I don't know why you guys text in French. Why do you guys text in French? You don't have to Google translate that stuff. Anyway, I watched this show and it's really, really fun. It's about this American girl, Lily Collins. Her name is Emily. Her character's name is Emily. She goes to France to work, and then she has to like adapt to the French culture, and it's so pretty in Paris there, and it was a really good show. And then they say stuff like oh mon dieu. She like learns French, and I kind of pick up a little stuff, and now when y'all text on the group chat, I kind of understand what you're saying. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys on Thursday. Ciao.